we just didn't have it out to y'all because we didn't,
Right, but that's what I'm saying, y'all didn't go over it for all the people in the meeting, y'all just approved it amongst yourselves.
yeah.
No,
we
we
got-
went line by line through the meeting. I went line by line on the meeting. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Who is this guy?
Foster.
I believe that's the best one on camera right there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the financial report? Oh, wait a second, I'm sorry, yeah, so I don't know why I skipped, I'm sorry. My brain is all over the place. Okay, so the minutes for, and did you see, Barbara, the amendment to the minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from November, the amendment from November and the January minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right, we still have 2 open positions, president and secretary. Mr. Letts? Ms. Barber? No? Then to make sure you didn't check your mind.
I don't write well, and I'm not gonna be, I don't know nothing about in charge.
We'd be cutting our crowd and nothing if they go.
Huh?
We'd be cutting our audience to 0 if they go.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now financial report. Sorry about that.
Okay, city number 1, 40,000. Carter State Bank, Union State, 63,514.06. Prepaid is 8,963.52. The money market's 11,942.06. And cash is 394.02. With a total of 124,814.06.
Okay, I have a question about this, about the financials. And so, I wanted to look it up and get my head straight, but on write-offs, that's not really an expense, so you're cheating yourselves. So if you bill, I have a couple of questions, I don't know whether to ask on the maintenance fees. I cannot find anywhere where maintenance fees, you can only go back 6 years. And I know we went and put back up on the books, all the old ones and collected them.
You can only go back 5 years.
Darla.
Well, forward, yeah, in the 50 years.
Right.
Then that doesn't make sense, because I should just not pay mine, and every 4 years, they're gonna get cleared off the books.
Well, that last year, we cleared off the books, that 5th year,
I know, but we went back and we collected everything that had been zeroed out before, because they were old, we put them back on and collected them with an attorney's saying, our clients, there's no reason, I have researched, I can't find anywhere where it says. And that doesn't make sense, because like I said, if that's true, then I'm just not gonna pay mine, because every 4 years I can just get it zeroed out and start over.
But the downside is, no, we ain't gonna zero it out, shouldn't be doing that. If you go sell your house or something, we should be able to catch it up then.
The only
Right,
thing,
but y'all wrote off $3,000 in old ones that y'all said because you couldn't collect. We
Right.
collected ones that were 10 years old.
on that one particular one, we were contacted by the attorney that was handling the property
That was the one that was sold in the state, in an auction.
in a bankruptcy.
I
And
know,
I
we could-
know,
No, you can't, no, she didn't either, she only went
On
back
the-
5 years.
on the
She
bankruptcies,
told you she collected prior, she's
You-
wrong.
you can collect if it's a sale, you can collect all the way back. But if it's a bankruptcy, their attorney contacted me, and then I had him contact Darla.
Okay, so that was a bankruptcy and not a sale. So y'all
Correct.
aren't, so if y'all have
No,
12 years that haven't been paid,
we
you're
will
gonna
push to get
collect
it
that.
back, yes. This
For
one
auction.
was a bankruptcy.
Okay, so my other point is a write-off won't be an expense. All a write-off should do is lower your accounts receivable because you didn't spend money, see what I'm saying?
But it takes away what it takes away what we,
It takes it out of your accounts receivable,
yeah, it's just,
but that's not an expense. So
correct, but on this page, we don't have an account. I mean, we can move it up here and just put it as a negative, we can.
Well, I
But
mean,
it's always been the write-offs, it's always, and I pulled the budgets from last, it's always been there.
right, we've always had a write-off, but we wouldn't have, but maintenance fee write-offs wouldn't have been in there. Like, let's say we mow somebody's lot and we're out $250, and then we never get it back because you can't collect on it, then that's a write-off. But if all we're doing is waiving maintenance fees, then the bookkeeper should just adjust their account, which will lower our accounts receivable. Instead of having, I'm making up numbers, but instead of having $10,000 due on maintenance fees, you've now lowered it to, let's say, $8,000. But it's not an expense.
Okay, no, I understand what you're saying.
So, I mean, it's just an accounting issue, and I'm saying you're kind of cheating yourself because you could spend that $3,000 somewhere else.
No, and I understand that, but the way that it is on the budget is where the line item is where it's been since 2014. We just haven't changed the line item. Because I can go back to 2015 on this budget sheet, and it's always been down at the very bottom under expenses, and we just have kept it there. And it's how it was whenever you were on the board, that's how it was whenever everybody else was on the board. Just where the line item is. Now, that 3,000, what you're saying, should be put somewhere else.
Right, it should show up on your balance sheet and not, I'm not saying you're not gonna have a write-off.
Yeah,
I'm just saying she should have lowered her accounts receivable, and it shouldn't show up as an expense for 2018.
but the reason we're putting it there is so that everybody knows. Because if you just fit it in somewhere else, you're hiding it.
Okay, well, you know
So-
that, like, this asset balance and all that, because you know on QuickBooks, basically you're using QuickBooks as a way to keep up with expenses
Yes,
and income. It
Yes.
has nothing to do with the assets, you can't use any of that. You can use accrual, because this is on cash basis, so it doesn't show your accounts receivable. Or if you do your report on accrual basis, it will show your accounts receivables.
no, I understand that.
Okay.
But the reason we have it there is because I didn't want anything hidden. I want, because it looks like the write-offs were always just $32 or $24,
Yeah,
and
and
that
that's
wasn't
just-
the case.
Yeah,
The write-offs have been more.
yeah, they would show up in
But
the
it-
balance sheet.
Yeah, but it's just been put somewhere else. But in this case, for the for here, that's where we put it, to show that, yes, that was written off.
Okay.
It's just the boards previous have always put it somewhere where nobody has seen it.
Okay, so the only reason y'all had to write that is because it was a
It
bankruptcy.
was a bankruptcy.
But if somebody's been behind for 10
12 years and they're selling the property
property,
through a realtor and it's going to title company, we will go back, all the way back to where it's
Right.
just a total. We
okay,
don't tell them, well, you're back 12 years. We tell them, this is how much is owed. So
Right.
either the seller needs to buy it or the buyer, seller needs to pay it or the buyer needs to pay it.
okay,
One of the other.
perfect. I just want to get a clarification on that, because I
Yeah.
just heard 5 years and I was like, wait a minute,
No,
I'm just
that,
gonna quit paying and let it clear up.
no, that was
Every
on,
5 years.
that was simply on that bankruptcy. And
Okay.
that's all that was.
All right,
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the financial report?
Motion to approve financial.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, ACC?
We had a house, no, I didn't bring my- we approved the house to go up on Steel Point, and then a storage shed and a patio cover.
yeah, they're clearing that lake, that's at Still Point and Medco.
I believe so.
They're clearing it today, and it was a muddy mess, with the big old track hoe.
That's how it was on Foley when they first started working on that, it was rained every day.
Yeah, it was raining today while they were doing it. And then I have a question,
You had gotten a hold of me about a fence.
yes,
I haven't been able to look at it.
okay.
You would send me the address.
I had a resident that lives around me ask me about it. And I have a question, an ACC question. So a few properties down from me, the people have a storage building. Harvey approvals. Well, it is still just studs with one window in it and no sides. So we're going on this line, this long. So I didn't know if that would fall under, I mean, it shouldn't fall under deed restrictions, but it doesn't really fall under ACC. I mean, maybe we ought to just
I
send
went by that one, cause you pointed that out to me too, and I've gone by again. I don't know,
Well, once they go back
I
up,
mean-
the rules are only good for 60
well, because that's
days.
but Harvey, they did an extension for approvals, and there were no approvals if something was damaged to put it up.
Right, we didn't do approvals if it was replacing something that was already there.
Yeah,
We
And
didn't-
it was
we didn't
already
do it.
there, but
Well, we didn't, I'm sure that y'all didn't do applications, but the
Right.
approval would still be the same, you have 60 days to get it done.
well,
Just
no,
like you would.
But approvals are good
No,
for
he
a
just
year.
rebuilt it, that's all. It's a rebuild,
yeah.
but they haven't started.
so let's see.
Well, it's like they started it and they just stopped. And
Right.
They
Yeah,
just haven't,
what's the timeline on the rebuild?
well, that's the applications, once the application is approved, you have 1 year. But there were no applications to rebuild what was torn down, so the question is they haven't done anything else.
Yeah.
So do we uphold the 1 year because there wasn't an application approval?
Is it fixed to be 2 years this time?
Well, you can't ignore it forever, so you.
No,
Yeah.
no, December to December, so this December was 1 year. Was the cutoff for the extension
Okay,
to
because we
rebuild?
extended it,
So,
because we
yeah.
extended it to like 6 months. So maybe we
December
should
was
just
that.
send him a deed restriction, just a friendly letter that, I don't know.
Yeah,
Send me the address for me.
yeah.
Well, could we
you're-
send them
you're
a
right.
letter and tell them that they've got 1 year from now, from the
No.
time they received the letter?
Well, I mean, if
I
it's
have
going
it,
out,
they're
that's,
past their year,
Huh?
They're
they're
past
past
their
their year, this was,
Yeah, but y'all said y'all didn't give them no,
It wasn't necessary, but because of the circumstances, we can't give them another year.
Oh,
We need to
okay.
give them a letter and find out what's going on. Once we find out what's going on, it may just get them to enclose it. But if they find it, then we'll have to give them a timeline. But they've already had over a year.
well, nothing else, it's an
Yeah.
asshole.
And, well, that's just it, is that
I'm
it's,
thinking 60 days.
it's a frame and that's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the problem is
Yeah.
it was vacant, and then somebody came in and gutted it, and then it was vacant, and then somebody came in and worked on it. And it'll be like they'll work on it every weekend for a month, and then you don't see anybody. Now there's somebody living there, even though it's gutted.
Yeah.
And so maybe if you send them a nice letter, they'll send you and say, we're fine living there, we're gonna work on it. My other question about that property is on the driveway. When you actually look at the deed restrictions for section 4, it does not mention what the driveway has to be made out of. It says side drives, sidewalks, patios, but it doesn't say the driveway. And, I mean, I just skimmed it. I'm not saying don't send him a letter, I think we ought to send them a letter. I'm just saying be ready in case they're fighters and they go, well, the deed restrictions doesn't say, but it may say on the application for a new property.
And I looked at that, and the hard part of that is that it is asphalt. They just haven't kept it up, because whenever nobody was there, I went and I picked it up,
Yeah,
and it's just overgrown. But there is asphalt there.
well, then they're gonna have to kill the grass and take.
That's, yeah,
If they wanna argue that.
and I thought I had saw in there that you do have to have a pavement of some sort, asphalt, concrete, something like
But
that.
it doesn't say driveways. It
You're
says
ma-
side drives, sidewalks.
Okay, I'll have,
I don't, but look at it, because
Yeah.
I remember, but like in some of the sections it says, you know, when it talks about the houses,
Yeah.
it mentions specifically that driveways have to be certain materials.
yeah. Okay, we'll double check that. But I remember you
I just
telling me
wanted
about
y'all to be
those.
ready in case, because I know she sent out letters today, and
Yeah,
that was probably one of them. And so just in case he contacts you, you're ready.
yeah,
okay, thank you, Robert.
cool. All right, and one, and then we have this one that was just dropped off today.
Oh, yeah,
And
cool.
we'll get that one whenever meeting's over. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the ACC report?
So,
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, maintenance report.
Okay, maintenance report. We broke
'cause I haven't helped.
We had a few people come down, yeah.
Good.
The thing is, we gotta have an auger, and we need a piece of equipment to pick it, cause it's a lot heavier than we thought. So we need a piece of equipment to pick it up. I've got that set up, but the guy's been out of town working, so, and then it rained anyway, so that's where we're kinda at. As soon as we, get, clear weekend and I can get him over here, then we're gonna pick it up, move it over, set it down.
Believe it or not, this weekend, I think it's not supposed to rain from now through Sunday.
I just don't know how dry it'll be.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the other thing, when you get out there and it just sinks in the ground, that don't even get it.
Yeah.
Did y'all get water when y'all dug holes? Did y'all dig any of the new holes?
Not yet.
He had some, we didn't
But we had to move it further.
Just about to dry it.
I know.
I was gonna say, I've been in all sorts of holes with my post hole digger. I've been
I
in
just-
water.
I don't want it to start tearing up so bad back there that we have to bring something in to fix the ruts and stuff.
Well, yeah, right now, if we get a piece of equipment, it's gonna sink.
Yeah.
But we are gonna leave the entire swing set intact.
That's why we took the tree down.
Okay,
so-
good.
That's why we took the tree down, so that we could put the whole thing. So, and then we got to stump around the tree also, but we haven't.
And we let the neighbors just come get the wood to use for firewood. So there were 3 people I've seen that came in, picked up all of it, and they have firewood.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
That pretty well concludes the maintenance report.
okay. Can I get a motion to approve maintenance report?
I so move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Alright.
All opposed? Alright, deed restrictions?
All right, so you want me to do that?
Deed restrictions?
Well, she can do that if she wants to. I mean, they did the deed restrictions.
Okay.
All right, so Ed and I are gonna drive, and I'm gonna explain why we do it every week. because-
I think I finally figured it out after you.
Right, because some of the stuff's, so the policy is we have to note a violation, wait 2 weeks. If it's still a violation, then she sends a letter. Then that letter gives them 10 days, and if they
Right.
still have it, then they have 30 days. And when we're talking about 14 days, 10 days, 30 days, things get really wacky.
Right, yeah.
So like this week, we are not gonna be able to, it'll be useless for us to drive tomorrow, because all it would give us is new violations. And then we'd have to do it again on Thursday
Right.
to hit the 10 days.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 weeks from the
Yeah.
second week, and then because I keep track of, like, I'll go down and mark on all those days, the 22nd that didn't, I guess you figured out gone means they were taken care
Right.
of. So I'll go mark those, the email letters, whatever the day is, and then I'll put a note on our calendar to make our day fall for
Okay.
10 days from now. So
Okay.
that's why we do it every week.
Okay, sounds good. After I read what you sent me, I thought, well, this is why they're doing it this way, so.
Because some weeks we think we're gonna do it on a Tuesday, but something comes up for him or me on a Thursday, and then you're volunteering also, and like you said, just because I sent you one on Monday, it may be Friday.
Right, yeah.
And, we don't want too much time to go.
Right, yeah.
Also, I noticed on the violation policy that, by, property code, we're supposed to have that filed, and we never had time to have it filed. So if you have had it filed, just make a note, if somebody's going to the courthouse, it has to be filed at the courthouse and then a recorded copy.
I'm sorry, say that again?
The policy for deed restrictions, so any policies that you make that run this organization are supposed to be filed at the courthouse. So it's posted on the website, but it's not a filed copy on the website.
There should be a file
I
copy.
think there is.
There is, because we haven't changed anything.
Yeah,
So
it's there.
whatever is on the website for deed restrictions was by a passport. We haven't changed anything.
Okay, I don't know, I mean, we knew we needed to file it, I don't know if it got filed and where the filed copy
It
is.
is.
Okay, so the filed copy didn't get put on the website.
Okay.
Maybe that's been filed 2 or 3 times over the years.
Right.
Yeah, because they get updated and changed and.
Alright, can I get a motion to approve the deed restriction report?
Motion to approve the deed restriction.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Alright.
a letter from
I mean,
a bill, an invoice, from an attorney's group that the previous board had used. We weren't getting the invoice, it was being emailed to Miss Sanders.
Right.
And
And I just,
we didn't know about it, and so now it's past due. We didn't know about it. Either way, it needs to be, it's $90. So it needs, yeah, it needs to be paid. We don't have to vote on it. I just wanted to let the board aware that this is a attorney's thing that we weren't getting an invoice for, but Darla was able to get an invoice for him. So it is gonna be paid, and it'll go under, professional fees on the budget.
and from day one, I sent them a note that said, I was no longer on the board, to send it to somebody else. And all I got was the first notice that I sent on that, and then I got a notice maybe a month ago. And I think I called them and said, I'm telling you again. This needs to go.
Yeah,
And I gave them the email.
January 9th is whenever we got,
this last one,
yeah, but it still has your contact on it,
yeah,
so.
See, and I sent them all the correction stuff, but I never opened it, so I didn't know what it was.
okay, but anyway, that's.
Okay. And we don't need to vote on that, like I said, it needs to be paid, because it was done by the board, I just wanted the board to know that we were gonna be paying for that.
Okay, I'll give that to Darla.
Okay, the 2019 budget, everybody should have a copy of the budget. For, current and proposed. And that's where we're at. We're still early. I know Darla said that she's starting to get a good amount of maintenance fees coming in this week. The deadline to pay maintenance fees was February 1st without late fees or interest charges. So she said that they're starting to flow back in. And I think she's just checking the mail once a week, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how much.
But the last time I talked to her, she's starting to get more in. Okay.
Do they become late?
Yeah.
In December, do they assess less late fees than January, or than the?
Until February 1st. And then
They're late February 1st.
And I think she actually did morning of February 2nd is whenever she started applying late fees. Because,
I couldn't remember, I just know that's probably why she's gonna get a bunch of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, new business, okay. Social events, Nita isn't able to make it today. I gave everybody a copy of this. I just handed it out, it's just a single piece of paper. I'll give everybody one, but the reason I haven't is because we need to go over it. And we didn't have an executive meeting last night. I couldn't, I had no time. The biggest issue we have, the annual barbecue, that's always the third weekend of April, correct? Okay, Easter falls the third weekend of April this year,
Oh, no.
so, I don't know how y'all wanna do that.
We'll have to do Easter in different day, because you can't change the date of that annual meeting.
Oh, you
I was
can't?
gonna say.
See, I didn't know, that's why I wanted to
Yeah, I
ask.
think in the deed restrictions, deed restrictions,
In our
one of them says.
It's in our covenant.
Yeah, it has to be that time,
Okay,
so we'll have to,
okay, so that is, and it's always on Saturday, correct?
yes.
Okay, so that's Passover. Okay, so that will be April 20th.
Can't do two for one.
Well, that's the other thing I was gonna ask.
You could do it.
If we can just,
I mean, a Saturday afternoon.
well,
Or
no,
Saturday.
but we can do we can do all the Easter stuff the same day as the annual barbecue. And then you just
I'm
combine it,
saying you can
do it the same day.
after the meeting,
Mm-hmm.
sounds good to me.
Y'all have any suggestions?
Sounds
I
good.
don't wanna forego an Easter party, but if we can just do it the same day as the barbecue, I mean, we don't know what we're gonna have for the annual barbecue yet and garage entertainment, but we can still have like the Easter egg hunt and all the kids stuff.
Why don't we have it before that meeting? Cause I don't know how long, you know, because with it being election.
Just do all the good stuff.
Kids
Yeah,
don't
yeah, and stuff.
And do it on Saturday with Easter being Sunday, so combine it as an Easter celebration, the annual barbecue, the elections, or annual whatever.
Yeah, and just do it all the same day. It'll be a long day for the board. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea to do all the kids' Easter stuff before the meeting. And then, so that'll be tapering off and they can all eat as everybody's coming in for the meeting and eat, and then we can start the meeting.
Yeah, we could do it from 10 to 12 or.
We can do the Easter from 10 to 12. Okay. Okay, so we can do that. Alright, so that's why I haven't handed, because it says date to be determined. So, I didn't write it in on y'all's, but,
Okay.
What y'all gonna do for the 4th of July?
well, hold on, we haven't got to that yet, we've got a whole list.
You got your list?
Wait a minute, Easter's usually on a Sunday, you have Monday.
I'm sorry?
Oh, yeah, I haven't crossed, you'll need to cross it out. I just put what dates everything was,
Okay, so Easter is Sunday the 21st.
the 21st. The reason I had said Monday is I was like, okay, well, we can do it Monday, but
Yeah, I think it's in the deeds that you have to have.
I wasn't sure and I didn't have time to go through. I had all this stuff packed away today and I forgot, I didn't have time to go through it, so I figured, well, I'll ask today.
So the annual barbecue will be on the 20th.
On the 20th, and then
Oh,
I'll run it by Anita and see if she would wanna do the Easter party 10 to 12. And then the barbecue and meeting, starting at 12 on. Okay, Memorial Day. I'd like to do the free swim on Memorial Day and try to do something. It's like we did last year
yeah.
for Memorial Day.
And
Cause the pool will open that Saturday, so we'll have Saturday and Sunday,
Monday.
and then that Monday. And then it doesn't open during the week,
Right.
because school's still in. So we can open it Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then I can take care of it.
That's
on
just
Tuesday.
a free weekend, it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Well, it'll be a free day. Oh, wait, no, we
That's a
always
free
did free
weekend.
weekend.
Free weekend.
Yeah.
The whole weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
And then it's closed, and then it starts
start
open
the following
next
weekend.
Saturday.
Okay, I would like to do that. I think everybody enjoyed that last year.
Yeah.
And,
Have
and keep,
stuff to eat.
July 4th. We didn't do anything last year for July 4th. The board didn't. I hesitate to do anything because I don't want people bringing fireworks to the park.
Yeah, we can't have fireworks.
We can try to do something, but everybody has 4th of July parties at their house, that everybody's on the lake.
And they're doing fireworks.
Sir?
People talk about
I was
parades.
thinking you had a parade last
And
year.
you,
But it wasn't possible.
I was gonna say-
Oh, yeah, somebody in the neighborhood did, yeah.
yeah, they decorated their golf cart and everything.
Right,
Yeah, they sure
right,
did. Uh-huh.
But the reason I didn't want the board to do anything is because if the neighborhood wants to do that, I'm all for it. And the board can help. I just don't want any money from the board being paid for it, because if somebody goes down there and does fireworks, the
Yeah.
board's held responsible.
Yeah.
Now, if a board member goes and open up bathrooms and stuff accidentally thinking it was the wrong day, that's okay. But if there's anything for the board, somebody does fireworks, I don't want that whole thing to happen again, where somebody accidentally shot a firework, it landed on somebody's boat cover, and they got a letter from their attorney. But I
Well,
still,
really, you can't do fireworks on the, pier, because that's the city of Houston, and you would have to get a permit. So you can't even do them.
I wonder how hard it would be to get a person.
Somebody said you can do them on a boat on the.
Yeah, you can, but you can't do it on the pier.
Well, you probably have to get a permit from them anyway.
I think for the.
And I don't know if you have to do it in a boat or anything like that, but people do get out there and do it.
What are your city limits?
I'm
Yeah.
not putting any fireworks on my boat.
We watched them do it.
Worst thing you have on a boat is a fire.
But I know they
That's
talked
not good.
about they had people in the
Do it for
past
the
that did
children,
them off the
John.
boats.
Yeah.
And I was the same way. Is that
Yeah.
legal?
Yeah.
We watched them one year do that from the house. They were doing fireworks off the boat. I'm like, I'm done, but I'll watch you.
Yeah, they do get out and do it. So anyway,
So we'll talk about, we'll bring July 4th up and see, because I know we have decorations that the neighborhood can use. about us.
Well, at least with July Fourth being on Thursday, if you wanted to do something like the Saturday after or something, maybe people would be burned out on fireworks, like a parade at 10 in the morning. If you don't do it at night, then nobody else can do fireworks.
The people that get burned out on fireworks is the adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you do them on Saturday, then everybody gripes because it's after the 4th, why are you still
Why are you
popping
still shooting
fireworks?
fireworks?
Yeah, yeah, you can't win for losing.
Yeah.
They gonna gripe anyway, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can't win.
No,
Labor Day, they did the same thing last year, and they put on a Labor Day, no, they didn't. They rented the pool for a Labor Day night, to do a party at night. I'll get with Anita. I know they had talked about doing it, the whole back to school bash and Labor Day thing, and I think that would be neat to do this year. And
How
try,
much did y'all budget for party stuff? Community events, $15.50, that's not a bunch for doing something for, but y'all get a lot of donations.
yeah, because last year for Easter, there was no money from the Civic League that was used. The Memorial Day, no money from Civic League was used. Labor Day, no money from Civic League was used. It was all donations.
Awesome.
So, I just want whoever, if we do it, for everybody to know that there's tons of decorations in storage. And that's the neighborhoods.
we're waiting on.
It's not the Civic League that has to put something on in order to use it.
We're waiting on.
If the neighborhood wants to do something, we'll go get stuff out of storage, but there's tons of stuff out there. And I'd like to do Labor Day, I wanna do a free weekend on that again too. But that's one that I would like the Civic League to talk about doing. Halloween, that's something,
Oh, this year y'all talked about trunk or treat or something, did y'all end up doing it?
it was raining,
It rained on,
yeah.
both of them rained, all rained on it, so.
And this is,
I'm one of these that thinks it ought to be on the 31st, you either man up and put on your raincoat, changing days for me is not an
There's
option.
plenty of kids out there.
Oh. that
Yeah, they go
was,
trick or treating.
we had
Yeah.
ponchos on,
Yeah.
and we went trick or treating.
Yeah, so I'm always the one that's like, toughen up, if you want to get out in the road, then don't, but it's on the 31st.
Yeah.
My kid, oh my god, my kids wrapped up on candy. Because we went in the rain, we didn't wait. So people are going, nobody's gonna come here. So they had 4 or 5 bags of candy, and so whenever people started coming out, I'm telling them, y'all come to my house, so I can get the candy back. But, I think it would be neat to try to do some sort of trunk or treat, and I was wrong last year. The boat ramp does have lights.
Yes.
I
Very
kept
good
saying,
lighting too.
well, and I kept saying, no, it doesn't, and nobody corrected me, and whenever I finally went by there, when I'm going, it's not good lighting. So I think we should do a trunk or treat at the boat ramp for this side.
Yeah.
They-
Yeah,
and not
that's kind of like there.
There's
It
a,
would be nice to have something that's on this side and not everything on this.
Yes.
Right,
Since it's so far away.
yeah.
well, and that's just it, is nobody wants to go on Foley right here to get to section 1, and I agree, I understand. But I just didn't click that there is good lighting over there. And heck, if we get enough people involved, I'm all for turning the tennis court into a haunted house. I will find a way to do it.
But what do you do about parking if they don't have a sticker?
For Halloween,
If you
I would-
park
I
on
would
the
just-
street, and you probably have the whole boat ramp
It's not-
filled up with stuff.
well, but that's,
That's.
but what we can do is, we can map,
They just go in there and give them a prize and leave, they don't hang around.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll map out
He's
where
just joking.
park the cars and,
He
That's
just-
an excuse to rip it
He
all
just
over
gets
there.
it hard.
yeah. No, I would like to
You
do
get a
something.
trunk and you fill it full of candy and treats and stuff.
And you decorate it, we can do a trunk or treat contest. The best
Yeah.
decorated,
Kids.
I mean, last time, it was pretty last minute when y'all talked about it, so at least
Yeah.
now you'll know a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's why I wanted to do this, so that as we come close, if we have to vote on something, we can do it then.
In advance.
Yeah, and then Christmas, that's a given, we always do something for Christmas, we just gotta figure out what to do about Santa this year. So we need to think of,
Our Santa has retired,
He
so
retired.
we're gonna have to find us a new Santa, but I know, John that lives down here, not this John,
John, yeah.
he has been Santa before. Troy's been Santa before, so if worse comes to worse, we can always get Troy.
Yeah. John's not big.
But we may
I'm
have
not
to.
gonna
He gonna be my elf.
Santa suit.
He's your little elf,
Yeah.
huh?
once we get closer, we'll try to start looking like that in November.
So anyway, that's.
So there's nothing to vote on this, I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention.
Okay.
Okay, annual barbecue and elections. Okay, now that we know what date we can do for the barbecue, that we can't change it, and like I said, I'll just double check it. Okay. For that. Okay, the way that the property code is written is you have to give written notice to the neighborhood no later than 10 days, no earlier than 60 days for your election. And I couldn't do the date because I wasn't sure exactly what we were gonna do.
Okay.
So if it's on the 20th, March 11th. So
Okay,
we cannot mail anything out any earlier than March 11th, that's 60 days.
Okay, so,
Can
March
you just
11th.
put it on the board to save the total mail out?
Well, what we're
No,
gonna,
we
what,
have to send mail outs.
you have to send mail
That's
outs.
in our, deed restrictions.
Now, it gives you different options. To be honest, the only thing that we have to do, since our main source of communication is our website, we only have to put it on the website. But not everybody,
You're right, yeah, we do usually send out a mail out.
so, and a mail out's been sent out every year, so so by March 20th, so that will be, okay. And our meeting's gonna be March 18th. No, March 11th. That's 60 days.
Okay, so they can't
We
go
can-
out
we
no
don't-
sooner than,
They can't go out any sooner than March 11th.
okay,
Can't go out any later than 10 days prior to the date of the election.
okay,
so-
so anytime after March 11th, we're
We
gonna
can,
mail out.
we're gonna mail out the annual newsletter,
Right,
and then we need to mail out a ballot.
right. It won't be as much this time because we got the printer.
So our mail outs only
I
cost
mean,
us
a
$15.
copy of it. That way we don't
Yeah,
have
it's
to,
not 500,
no.
it's only 15. So, but, we will set up an election committee. To be honest, I don't care how many people are on the election committee, the more the better. But we'll set up an election committee, we'll start putting out, notices that if you wanna be on the board, there are 4 positions open this year that are up for election. So we'll put on the sign, we'll put on the website, and we'll put on Facebook that there's 4 positions open, if anybody would like to run, to, email it in, and it has to be emailed in before a certain date so that it can go onto the ballot.
Right.
I just wanted to make sure that our times were there,
Mhm.
so where we can mail out everything.
When does, okay, so you mail out the ballots and then whoever wants to, they fill it out and mail it back in, oh, right?
Yeah,
So what's the last date that you can accept ballots?
Well, they did
The
it at the
date
meeting
of-
last year.
I'm sorry?
They did it at the meeting last
Yeah.
oh
year.
yeah, but the ballots, you can accept the ballot up to the
Yeah.
time of meeting.
No, I'm sorry.
You mean,
The committee,
just
Oh.
for people to go onto the ballot?
Yeah.
That's what we need to decide tonight.
okay,
Yeah.
that's what I
So-
just misspoke.
Yeah, so if we want to have the ballots and the meeting, and the annual letter mailed out April 2nd, because that gives 1, 2, 3 weeks
Mhm,
for everybody to receive their letters and their ballots, and to either mail them in or bring them to the meeting.
mhm,
That will get everybody 3 weeks,
okay.
okay?
So you're gonna give them a deadline of when their nomination, or when their.
Yeah, to go onto the ballot. Mail out April 2nd. Okay, so what we can do is we can give everybody a deadline of,
I thought you said May 11th.
April 11th. We can't do May because the barbecue's April 20th. We need to have,
And you gotta have time to
Okay,
give
that's
them and
fine.
process
Yes.
it.
I'm thinking of the wrong
Yeah.
month.
Have your committee make sure that they're qualified to run and meet all the criteria, so, when you mail them, March 1?
we're gonna mail ballots out to the neighborhood April 2nd.
No, when do you,
That's what we need a deadline for people to email in to go onto the ballot. We need nominations.
right,
So the deadline for
but you're gonna
nominations.
mail the letter April 2nd?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you need
That gives 3 weeks, 3 weeks prior to the,
That doesn't give you very long for people to send in their nominees.
no, that's not, the nominations will start as soon as I can get information out, on the sign, on the website, on the Facebook page, they can start emailing their nominees. But the deadline to email in a nomination will be March 20.
Well, what happens if you don't get enough people to even run?
Then it goes by, what is it called? Acclamation. But we're gonna give plenty of time for people to put a nomination on the ballot, and for us, if there's people to nominate, for us to get a ballot out.
Okay, so the meeting is April the 20th.
April 20th. We're gonna mail out everything April 2nd.
Okay.
The deadline for people to send in their nominations will be March 25th. That's a Monday.
That only gives you 5 days or 6 days to get the committee to look at those people, if you have anybody, and to
Well,
write
the
them out.
only thing they need
Well, no,
to
as
look
it
at,
comes in,
Right.
as they come in,
I mean, I just don't want you to be so pressed for time, because, you know.
I just wanna give the neighborhood plenty of time to do
the
it.
only thing they need to look at is the homeowners and their dues are paid. All that other stuff.
Your dues don't even have to be paid.
Whoa,
Your dues do not have to be paid in order to be on the board.
huh?
Your dues do not have to be up to date to be on the board.
Okay, that's right, that's the new law.
Yeah,
All we have to know is that the homeowners, you know, and if you know their homeowner, they can run.
Right,
You know,
I agree.
all that other stuff is BS.
hold on.
Alright, here's what's confusing to me, that I couldn't get anybody to get straight. Okay, according to the bylaws, you have 9 directors. 5 are elected, 4 are elected on a 2-year alternating term. That's voted on by the community, and then the board of directors nominates the officers.
Appoints the officers,
Right.
yes.
And the only officers that have to be board members are president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer.
That's it.
Okay? Now, committees don't have to be on the board.
No.
So I think hopefully if you spread the word, because I think some people think they have to be on the board to help. If, it's kind of like us, we're on the deed committee, and it would be nice to have a board member, but if you didn't, it's not the end of the world. It seems like there's one committee has to have a board member. It's not-
ACC has to have a board member.
So if somehow you could put something like that in the newsletter, that, volunteer, you don't have to be a board member,
Yeah,
and
Good idea.
they can, and I know you keep saying that y'all need a president and a secretary.
yeah.
But that's probably gonna change after
But
elections.
whenever you send the ballots out, you don't put president,
President,
vice. All you do is you have names on there.
I know, and
Board.
last year I couldn't get that straight from people to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
that should have never been
And
on
that's
there.
what I kept saying, it should have just been board member number 1, board member number 2, board
Yeah.
member number 3, and you're assigned a board member number, and then if you resign, that board number, kind of like with the school board, you never
Right,
see
yeah.
school board number 2, school board number 3.
Yeah,
So we were able, whenever we went through the files, we were able to find all the way back to 2014, the positions that were elected, so on and so forth. We were able to track it up to last year. So it was flipped last year. The directors that were up for election was not the correct.
yeah, president was supposed to have been up for election last year.
Well, but president doesn't, like
It was
I
the
said,
person in that seat.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
No, the person in the seat
person
was
in that
supposed to
seat.
be up for election.
Okay.
And so it was flipped. Either way, so starting from now, it's either, okay, do we go back to the way it was, or do we go forward from last year? So we're gonna go forward from last year, but at least in whatever, this book, if I get off the board, will be turned over, and it goes from 2014 forward. Now, we'll have to start a new one this year, from last year, it's here, and then 2019 is here. But it's going forward.
So either positions 1 through 5 or 6 through 9.
It'll be,
or,
yeah, 1 through 4, and then
5
5
through
through
7.
7, 5 through 9. But
Yeah.
that's how it'll be put on here. So there's only 4 up for election this year.
There used to be 12 board members.
Oh my gosh.
Good luck on that.
Several years ago,
Yeah.
whenever we were on there, way before, well, I had been on the board since 2010, because I was on the water board for 8 years.
Well, you know, I say this all the time. It's just so hard because 20 years ago, if you said I went down, it's like I have a tractor and a post hole digger and all the equipment to do that, but I'm not gonna take on the liability.
Yeah.
And now, you know, before y'all could say, oh, I went and fixed the pier, and they'd say, thank you. Now,
Now it's people
we go
that
down
are
and fix the pier, somebody's gonna look at it and try, it's scary, I mean,
It
I have
is,
the same
it is.
problem.
It is.
That's why you can't, so maybe if you try to get committee members instead of board members, at least we get some.
My only deal on, if you're a board member and there's social events that the board does, there's deed restrictions that the board's responsible for sending deed restrictions out. There's things that the board, there's expectations. If you have 9 board members, you should not have 5 board members with no responsibility. That's my deal. You have 4 officers, and within those 4 officers, you have written responsibilities for every single one of those officers. And then you have 1 director at ACC with a written responsibility. So then you have 4 other board members that have no written responsibilities. I don't agree with that.
Well,
And
they
that's
have
just me.
responsibilities to be at the meeting and make some decisions that
But that's-
affect everybody.
No, I agree, but that's 1 day a month.
Right.
And it's just show up, vote on something, and leave. Whenever you don't have a neighborhood that's volunteering to help, okay, then
I mean, you can ask them to be on a committee, but they don't, I mean, they don't have to be.
no,
on
they
a
don't
committee.
have to. And like, and you're right, it's not written in our bylaws that every director has to be on a committee. But in order for our neighborhood to have some of those perks, if nobody's offering to be on that committee, then why not have a board member take that committee over? But that's my opinion, not everybody thinks that way.
Yeah.
But again, if that's not the case, then you have an officer that's either a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer that has a certain responsibility to this neighborhood that's now also taking on other responsibilities, but yet there's 5 other directors sitting on that board. But
But
that's,
you're always gonna have that. You're gonna have people that give 100%, and you're gonna have people that give 2%.
no, I know, and we've done pretty good. Like I said, Anita's taken over social. With your help, Mike's doing deed restrictions. Troy and John are doing maintenance. So,
Yeah, I mean, that's what you end up having to do. I mean, if you had 100 people wanting to help, you could split it up all sorts of ways.
yeah,
But you have to, but it's not in writing. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what we did, is, you know, each of the board members kind of like, you know, I was helping
you
with
help do
this.
this, you help do that, yeah.
And somebody else, those 2 were doing deeds. I mean, it was the whole board was doing everything. Because
Yeah.
we didn't have very many
And that's what it
volunteers.
should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't think you're gonna get tons of volunteers because people are afraid of the
People are afraid of liability and people are afraid of being bashed and,
Yeah.
you know, every board has dealt with it and
Just say.
it's unfortunate now, it's just getting worse, but there's nothing we can do about
And it's only gonna keep getting, it's just gonna get worse because look at the morals of our society. I don't even wanna start on that, because I can talk about that one.
it.
The
Well,
problem this day and age is, we got a younger crowd out here that we've always tried to get involved, and we have never been able to. I mean, they don't want any responsibilities in this neighborhood.
The ones over here like, really? Come on now.
well, let's say not all of them, not all of them.
But
But
Newport was the
they're
same
first
way.
to right.
The vast
Those
majority.
tiny ones are doing it, aren't
We
they?
couldn't get no money in Newport. You know, it was
It's
always,
the same.
I was the youngest person that went to Newport meetings.
Yeah, and I told you, I had 120 kids in my 4-H group, and I just about ran the entire thing by myself with no help from parents.
Yeah, well, we'll keep pushing along like we're doing. I have slacked on a lot of stuff, but I'm sorry. I know everybody's busy. Have your dad going through cancer for the 5th cancer and come tell me you're busy. I'm trying. I'm doing
Well,
everything that I can to keep the
She's doing a
neighborhood
great job.
informed of what's going on. I've slacked on Facebook, and Nita has gotten a 2nd job, and she's also been on vacation. But she's back. She'll get back on Facebook. We're gonna try and keep everybody informed, and just keep going.
Well, I mean, I've told y'all before, because it's definitely unappreciated. They expect people that may have little to no experience to being in the corporate to run this, which is basically a corporation that you're working for free, and you're responsible for a lot of money and have a lot of responsibilities, and it's a hard, difficult job.
A thankless job.
Yeah.
But,
But that's what we sign up for.
That's
So,
what we signed
and
up
so,
yeah.
I have no, we're gonna keep letting the neighborhood know, and hopefully we can get some more volunteers.
Yeah.
We'll just keep trying.
Yeah, just like I said, my whole point was maybe if they realize that they can be on a committee and just help with parties or help with stuff, maybe spread that a little more and not, we need you on the board, we need you on the board, we need you on the board, because nobody wants to be on the board,
Yeah.
because of the responsibility.
That's a good idea.
Okay, we need to do that. Okay, so, where's my little piece of paper go? Okay, so the deadline to have your nominations in is March 25th. Okay, and then the mail out will be April 2nd. We'll put out there, I'll put on the board and stuff, anybody that's willing to be on an election committee. This way those people will help get all the emails in and start making a list. I think if you wanna be on the ballot with your email, my suggestion, because a lot of people asked about it last year, to do some sort of bio. Because people were asking last year, well, I don't know anybody, can they tell us something about themselves? We can ask that everybody just put a little bit of something about themselves. Hey, I've lived in the neighborhood for 2 months, hey, I've lived here for 74 years.
I think that's a good idea.
Just something about themselves so that people know who they are.
Right.
So we'll put out there for an election committee and get that up and running as soon as possible. Okay.
So how does the election committee work?
So, it does not state that you have to have an election committee in the property code. The way I see it is it takes the load off the board.
I mean, what do they
It's
do?
somewhere though, that there has to be 3.
That was in our bylaws.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Yeah. And,
between the property code, the bylaws, and the deed restrictions, and the new laws, just general laws, it's hard to keep track. I hear
yeah,
you.
tell me.
Okay, so what do they do?
Um,
For instance, okay, we got.
We'll set up, I would like to set up a separate email, not Lake Shadow Civic email. It'll be Lake Shadow's election email. Put that out there, so if I wanna nominate Gina Ochoa to be on the board, I'm not doing that, don't let her freak out. I would email, or Gina would email and say, I would like to be nominated for the board to go on ballot. Here's my little Bible. So the
Oh,
election
okay.
committee would get that email, type it up, and send it to Darla. At some point, they can either do it every day, they can get something in, or they can, it's however they wanna do it.
Okay, okay.
And send everything over to Darla, so that Darla can start doing, checking to see if they're property owners, stuff like that,
Yeah.
and start building a ballot.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
And that takes a lot of the bias, so that somebody can say, well, I emailed in and I wasn't on ballot. Well, it's not the board doing it, it's an election committee doing it.
Okay, I understand.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So, is there anything that I said that we have to vote on?
Do we have to vote on the budget?
No, because the budget was approved last week. Last month.
Last month, okay.
Well, I just wanted to, since we didn't have an executive meeting, I just wanted everybody to go over everything so that we could get dates and just kind of give a heads up of what we could be doing this year. But mainly I needed to ask what we were doing about the barbecue and Easter party. But that doesn't, we have not given a budget for it, we haven't decided to spend money on it. If we don't spend any money, you don't have to vote on anything. If we do it all on donations and we've got that storage unit full of decorations for every single holiday, that is community property. That can be used for anybody that wants to throw a party. We don't have to vote on the dates, because that has to be done. The election committee, do we have to vote on how many people? No, we don't.
No,
For the
it
election
says, I
committee.
think it says
It's
3.
three.
Yeah.
Just 3 people.
It is. I'm missing Bibles in my little book.
They should
anybody wants to be on the election committee. And there's no restrictions for election committee, as far as I understand.
Yeah, I bet so. Just 3 people.
Yeah,
Minimum.
Okay.
minimum. Okay, all right. Public comments.
I pretty well make all my comments during the meeting.
Bobby? You're good? Ed, you good?
I'm good.
Hey, and Ed and Barbara, thank y'all very much for helping with these restrictions.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
And I'm gonna
And
make
for those who go, all we do is send in addresses. We don't look at names, we don't care who it is, I don't know who anybody is, so it doesn't help. So I just send addresses, and then sometimes for empty lots, I'll send her a note and say, there's an empty lot that needs mowed between this address and this address. And then somebody else has got to build up on it.
Okay,
make a motion to adjourn.
can I get a second to motion?
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned. All in favor of adjourn?
Aye.